Où est l'argent? Je sais pas.
Voyez, je suis juste en terrain. Cette femme, Claire, elle m'appelle et demande de lui ouvrir. Je lui ouvre. Pas du tout, je l'avais jamais vue, je vous jure.
J'arrive.
Si à la fin de cette nuit, pas retrouver cette fille et ce qu'elle m'a pris, tu finiras soit mort, soit en prison. Donc, tu vas m'aider, Mady?
Ouais. Et quand on aura touché le fond, on pourra que remonter.
La vérité, Mady, c'est qu'il n'y a pas de fond. Passer ta vie à attendre de toucher le fond, mais en vrai, tu peux que couler. Le jour où tu t'en rends compte, bah, c'est trop tard pour remonter. Déjà mort.
Pourquoi t'es là?
J'ai pas le choix.
Bien sûr que si, t'as le choix. Tu fais toujours tout ce qu'on te dit.
J'ai besoin de le retrouver.
À la première occasion, c'est barré.
J'ai voulu un psychopathe, t'as buté un mec, c'est tout. Ce que tu peux faire là, c'est partir loin.
Je vous jure, c'est la vérité. C'est la vérité. Mais il est où l'argent?
Ça, on est liés, Mady.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Saving a Seat. We're here saving you another seat for another episode. We have a wonderful group of films to talk about. I'm real excited about this crop of films, and I'm real excited, as always, to be joined by the one and only.
How you doing? Have a seat next to me, Bryan.
Get the large popcorn, everybody. That's one tip I'm going to tell you about Bryan Tann. Get the large pop. Get the tub. Get the tub. You need the tub.
Yeah, you need the tub, baby. You need the tub.
All right.
Oh man, I'll tell you what. This crop of films, whoo boy.
So the trailer you just watched is for Night Call. Very interesting. It reminds me of so many other different movies, and obviously there's an app comparison that you made in the chat, in our chat, that I'm going to let you make, and obviously it is very apt to it. I just got to say one thing about this movie that really, really stuck with me. This movie might be the best dubbed. I saw the English dubbed version of this movie.
Same.
It might be the best dubbed movie I've ever seen.
I agree. It was very well done. It's all in French. Correct? Am I right?
Yeah.
French?
Yeah, French.
I compared this to a very little known Patrick Dempsey film, Run, from I believe it's 1990.
And the one that most people make the comparison to, you also did Michael Mann's
Collateral.
Yeah.
Because this is a case of wrong place, wrong time. Way wrong place.
Oh, you feel for this kid.
Way, like this guy. So in a lot of the films that we've done, the protagonist gets into things by their own volition and accord.
Yeah.
Mady did not ask for shit. Mady got screwed. Okay.
Yes.
Poor Mady did not deserve any of this.
Mm-hmm.
And the ending is so maddening. Like, to let you behind the curtain of the life of Bryan Tann, the films, the last month's films and this month's films, I've had to watch at work because time just doesn't allow me to, So a lot of the times, some of our films, I'm more audio. I'm taking in the information audio.
Yeah.
This time, this and one of our films from last month, that was strictly subtitled, Ugly Stepsister, I had to really do a lot of focusing on.
Yeah.
And bro, I got so mad, I almost snapped my phone in half and I almost roared out. I don't think I should say what I was going to say. But let's just say I had a similar reaction a few years ago when I saw the infamous iPhone footage in Minnesota. I had the exact same reaction. And damn it, I know that's what the filmmakers wanted.
Yeah.
Bra freaking vote. Très bien. Très bien.
Yeah. This movie hums. It is a fast 90 minutes. And it hums right from the beginning, which I really enjoyed too. We've had a lot of slow burns in our arsenals. This one goes from beginning to end. It reminds me a lot, actually, of Die Hard in its pacing. You know, it goes really fast and really, really structured, and it goes from one element to another element to another element, and then, of course, it has a neat twist in the middle that you really do see coming. But it is. I mean, I was not surprised by it. I don't know if you were, Brian, but I
was, but I wasn't.
Mm-hmm.
It was the relationship that threw me.
Yeah.
It was that particular relationship. I thought it was going to be something else.
When they're interrogating Mady, I knew at a certain point, really in the first act, when the turn was happening, I knew that it was coming because of that. Because it's set up very nicely for that. And I'm not saying that to be a jerk and say, hey, you didn't fool me, ha, ha, ha. I'm saying that because I think natural storytelling-wise, it makes a lot of sense if you look back on it and look at that foreshadowing, a little bit. You look at that aspect of it.
Well, the way they talked about it even tells you that there's something more going on. Basically, Mady he's a locksmith. He's an on-call locksmith. He gets a call to let someone in. He gets tricked by a gorgeous face, and it's literally wrong place, wrong time. And when you want to talk about wrong place, wrong time, a not very combative black man in the apartment of a freaking neo-Nazi during a Black Lives Matter protest.
Yeah. In Belgium, no doubt.
In Belgium. Yo, this brother was just set up for failure from the word go.
From the moment it happened. There is
as soon as this kid woke up that morning, fate was just like, you know what? It's just
there's that funny moment in the car when he's thinking about, is my day how my day is gonna turn out, right? And then you go, oh, right then and there, it's gonna go to shit.
Dude, watching this movie, if you watch this movie,
and that's not a spoiler. That's not a spoiler anymore.
No, that's just whatever. After watching this movie, if you ever take a night shift, if you ever take a night shift for your job, you earn whatever's coming to you. I'm sorry.
Again, I'm going to nerd out. There is a very cool zoom shot of that is almost stolen from horror movies where he's hiding under the bed and they zoom toward the bed when the guy turns around. I thought that was a really cool shot. I really loved the look of this. This movie reminds me a lot of Christopher Nolan's Gotham or Dark City. There was just this yellow hue and this darkness and the smoke billowing from all these buildings, and it was all this industrial like complexes and bridges, and every time that it wanted to pan out, you could smell the sewage, you could smell the darkness in this movie.
Absolutely.
And it does a really good job of setting that atmosphere, and that atmosphere ultimately has nothing to do with the film whatsoever, which is
not at all
thing about it. It is really Mady has to figure a way out of this mess, and we get 90 minutes of him going through hell basically to do that, and it is fast paced. I really enjoyed all of this in a lot of respects. I really did. I thought, and again, I mean, you probably would not have known it was dubbed if I didn't tell you it was dubbed.
Very true. Very true.
I really believe that. I really do believe it would fool a lot of people. And there will probably be some comments about, no, it was in English. Nope.
No, it is in French. It is in French. It was just a really good dub. And I
also love the other apt comparison to Die Hard, the clueless grocery store owner who's playing video games the whole time, and he's just, hey, let me find your girlfriend.
And he's just like, yeah, girlfriend.
just like in Die Hard with the guys, the limo driver.
Argyle. Yeah. Argyle. When you talked about the way this was shot and the look and the feel, it really reminded me a lot of Attack the Block, the way that was shot and the way the night is presented. That was a really, like, that's what sort of gave me that. And just, I think what was really, this film terrifies you with real life.
Yeah.
Things like this happen probably every day.
Yeah.
For a lot of films, especially foreign language films, you know, sometimes it's difficult to get into it because of the culture barriers, but this film didn't have that.
No.
And I think what I really appreciate is the fact that because it takes place during the Black Lives Matter protest movement, it really makes it so that our world is not so small. We are not so different. And I think that's what really endears us to this film. It endears us even more because, you know, myself, I never went to any protests. You know, I'll definitely speak out about stuff. I'll know what's right is right and what's wrong is wrong. But at the same token, I've also got a job to do. I've got to go to work. I can't. And so with that, I really understood Mady, because there was a scene where some of the Black Lives Matter protesters were trying to get Mady to get involved. And he's like, I can't. I've got other things. They tried to shame him.
Yeah.
But it's like, bro, you have no clue.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
what I also loved too is that they, unlike a previous film we reviewed in the last episode, the protagonist is super likable in this. You're rooting for Mady the entire.
You want nothing
world.
Bad to happen to him.
From moment one. He has some demons. He has some things, but all those things are forgivable sins when you compare it to what he's being put through. And I really love that element about this movie, because I really feel like sometimes these movies just get too complicated with all that. Don't let the action, the 90 minutes of just pure adrenaline go. And this movie does not get in its way for that reason.
I agree. I also feel like there was no wasted time. Nothing lulls.
Nope.
This is just, you are sucked in from the word go. From the moment he gets that call to the end of credits, you are invested.
Jonathan Feltre was the actor's name. I wanted to give him a shout out.
He's absolutely amazing. And Michel Blanchard, the director, writer, along with Giles Marchand, absolutely amazing.
And Claire can suck it.
Up for that right cross again, raises her chin with that one. She's in trouble. And another big right. Another one shot away from ending it.
Life is suffering. Life is pain. And whether she comes fast or slow, death is coming for all of us. The question is, how did you die? Because if you lived on your knees, you're going to die on your knees.
Have you ever been knocked out?
No.
Have you ever been stopped?
No.
When you go down, you better go down hard.
Look, this is a great opportunity.
Yeah? He wants me to lose, Emma. He wants me to throw the fight.
Welcome to the fight game.
The storm carries the fury of the gods. It brings destruction and death. But a storm rewards the strong, the brave, and the bold. And I can tell you, with great certainty, a storm is coming. And I ask you again, how did you die?
I loved everything about this movie. This movie was in one room, and it was so riveting for the 100 minutes that it was on screen, and it was so well orchestrated the entire way. There's two movies that remind me a lot of Big Night and Reservoir Dogs. Both of those movies are very reminiscent to this film. And I think they stole a couple things from Reservoir Dogs and even Big Night. There's one scene where they do through the revolving door that Big Night uses. I think that was stolen from that movie, but that's fine. Good movies steal from other good movies, and that's great.
And then they make it their own.
And yeah,
I'll tell you what, this film broke my heart in a lot of ways. But this was of the films that we've done in the last two shows. I think this one is my favorite.
Oh, nice, good. I'm glad
because I can relate to it.
Yeah.
My heart breaks, Tony, so much.
Yeah.
Emma's the worst.
Yeah, Emma turns out to be, well, I mean, other than the two guys who fight.
Other than the brothers, and other than Dempsey, who we never see.
Who involved Emma in why they were fighting to begin with. But
Emma turned out to be the reason why they were fighting.
I love that turn, by the way. I love that turn in Emma. She's a well-known actress in that neck of the woods, and she produces this.
O'Riordan.
But Chrissy Cronin in this movie, who plays Vicky, I think fucking steals this entire movie for me. I think she was Logan Paul in this movie, and she was really awesome at it. And then,
but what I really liked about her is that in one moment she's Logan Paul, and another moment she's just a scared little girl.
Yeah, it was great.
Really loved that moment between her and her father. It was really, really sweet. Mm-hmm. And it's almost like it tells you a lot about her and her father's relationship, where she was only there to please her dad.
Mm-hmm.
She only was in that position for him, not for herself.
And she had no idea what was going on, which was even more endearing.
And I'll tell you what, the one thing about this too is that it showcases you the dirty side of the boxing business.
I really wanted to talk to you because you have done boxing. You have been a part of like this culture before. How I really felt like there was a level of authenticity that this movie brings, like the hand wrapping, where they're rubbing the hands before they wrap the hand. I mean, that is brilliance. The other research that they must have done to pay attention to how this authenticates their movie really made this movie special for me, because I really felt like Little Chef's Kiss won the movie for me, because I think it was so authentic. It felt real in that moment, and it was really cool.
And for those that don't know, the reason why you want to have your hands rubbed before you wrap is because you have to wrap tight.
Yeah.
Because if you don't, you can break something. And plus, you also want to wrap tight. You want to have a thick layer so that you're not endangering the other boxer.
Yeah.
You want as much padding as possible. So
even them going over the rules was a really,
and that's the way, and that's actually the way they go over them. I haven't been like I've fought a lot of MMA, but before fights, you know, the ref talks to you, much the same, tells you what the rules are. But the reason why you want to have your hands massaged first is because of that tightness. You don't want it to be like you're cutting off the circulation and then hurting your hands, because I've over tightened my wraps and I've almost hurt my hands punching. So you want to get that massage, get the muscles loose, get the bone, get everything loose. So that way, when you wrap it up, you still have free mobility without risk of injury.
And this movie never loses a beat. In that they're having a conversation about the movie aspect of this within doing the authenticity. That's what makes it so credible, I think, and it really sells it for me. I know this is going to shock a lot of people who know me, but if you're going to do voiceover in a movie, this is how you fucking do voiceover in a movie. It was fucking spectacular.
It really was.
I'm not spoiling anything by talking about this, but one of the fighters listens to a meditative voice that kind of gives her motivation for the fight, and you hear him talking to her, and that's how the movie starts, with his voice talking to her and telling her, she's a badass, and he's got this really thick, awesome, like Irish accent that just, really cool voice. Whoever did the voice, really cool. But I love all that. That's how you do voiceover if you're going to use voiceover. I loved that. That was amazing. And then there is also, again, I'll nerd out. I'll do my normal nerd out thing. There's a great shot at the very beginning when Emma's confronting Tony. They separate them, by this light that shines in between them, and they're on each side of the frame. What a beautiful shot! And they pull out of that shot. Fucking amazing shot. I love that.
That looked good.
Really great.
What really got me too is that's also why you never have the fighters in a room with each other, because here's the thing, your emotions are high, and the person you're supposed to be fighting, and you're just gonna trash talk, and the fight's gonna end up back there before it even hits the ring. That's why I don't even think they get to see each other. It's like one person comes out first, and then they wait till the entourage passes, and then they come out. You know, the idea of a swing bout is in case there's time filler between fights on the main card, to keep the crowd interested, they'll have another fight. So if you're the swing bout, you might not even fight. Like you'll be training to get ready, and you're all ready to go, and it's just like, man, well, guess you're going home.
Yeah, and you know, and the other thing about this is that there's two criminal acts going on at the simultaneously in this movie, and they play themselves out so brilliantly and beautifully in a kind of concerto moment toward the end. This movie really does wrap itself up very, very well. I love that we never see any of the boxing elements of it, because I think that's not what this movie was really about. Wasn't about the fight, even though we understand what the fight is about to become. We get a glimpse of that through another voiceover kind of idea, which again, very well.
It's not even a voiceover for that. It's the commentary, but unfortunately, you don't get to really get into it because of what's going on.
I liked that, and then it turns up the volume at the end, which I thought was brilliant idea, you know. But yeah, this movie is a sleight of hand movie. It's distracting you from one element to bring you to another element, and it does that throughout this entire film, and it does it perfectly. It does it perfectly. For a one room movie, there you would have guessed that the space in this film. Well, I mean, one backstage, there is some.
Yeah, it's like you're only in like a hallway, the dressing room, and an office, and a room. That's it.
Yeah, for that element, it feels so much bigger than it was.
And John Connors is the voice of the guru.
Oh, okay, John Connors, of course. Yeah,
I think when the machines take over, he's going to lead us.
Of course.
Today's product: blade code knife sets. Your goal is to sell one an hour.
This is Japanese steel.
Yeah, you're gonna take one, right?
Absolutely.
Your profession is the last gasp of a dying society.
Please leave.
Okay.
You are a very good salesman, and I assume you need stuff to sell. It's my book, Bob Donnelly.
That's me.
Let me guess. You're starting to think about things like, what's the point of door-to-door sales? Are we just filling people's houses with worthless crap?
Is the seat taken?
You gotta remember, we're just here to help people.
This is the craziest plan I've ever heard.
You're welcome to stick around, Corey, if you're free.
Lizard people!
You from around here?
Yeah, I'm from Medford.
Seeing anybody?
Does that answer your question?
5 people!
I'll tell you what, man. This movie, Salesman, it's odd, but it hits home in a way that I wasn't ready for it to. Because right now I am in sales. As an author, you're in sales. Sometimes you feel like you're whoring yourself out just to get people to know who you are and to put food on your table.
Would you be okay with a Bryce Creed cult?
Yeah. Yes, I would, Joe. I would be okay with that. Because then I would say, you must buy 2 of the Bryce Creed, 2 of the parts of the Creed Bible. You must learn them. And lo and behold, on the 4th day, Bryce Creed killed the redneck. This movie is, number one, I'm a sucker for black and white. But this isn't just black and white. This is like a black and white matte. It's almost like a brown, a grayish brown almost. Like a champagne gray. So for door-to-door salesmen, bro, number one, why the hell are you just walking around with a vacuum cleaner that you bought from Target, dragging along? We're selling you a vacuum cleaner.
Because that's what they were selling for the day. That was the product, you know. They paid to get it.
And then, this movie, like, where to begin? This movie is odd in ways that, you know, it's an indie movie, number one.
Yeah,
when
sure.
The actors and the lead character and the characters have the same name. So you're not acting much because you're answering to your own name. Tuki's real name is Tuki. Corey is really Corey. Orlando is really Orlando. And Will is really Will. And there are 3 different plots going.
Yeah.
One is somehow this sales crew starts selling cultist propaganda. Another one is an idiot who has flunked the bar 19 times, trying to pass the bar for his father's approval.
Yeah.
And then another is one guy's best friend dating his poetry teacher. And they're not telling him.
Yeah.
It's weird and it's strangely entertaining. It is so entertaining because
it's a car wreck. You can't take your eyes off the fucking thing.
It is so low brow, but that is what makes it genius.
Absolutely, 1000%.
And Luke Jarvis, bravo, because I thought I was ready to clown the shit out of this. And then I'm like, this is hitting me because this is how I feel in sales. And I appreciate every person that has chosen to buy a car from me. But oh my God, do I feel like a whore sometimes. And I'm not shaming sex workers. Look, it is the oldest profession. I have no problem with it. But you know what? I really just feel like sometimes it's like I don't want to beg somebody to spend money. I feel so like, wow. And you can see the life being sucked out of these 4 people every time they have to go and make sales. This movie is, I wanted to hate it so much, but it just sucked me in and wouldn't let me go.
Doesn't it have like the way that it's paced have a Clerk's feel to it a little bit?
I didn't want to make, because you yelled at me one time for bringing up Clerks. So I didn't want to get in trouble. But yes, it's the dialogue.
Yeah.
It's the dialogue. It's
and the black and white.
It's the black and white, and it's the dialogue.
Same. They use the same kind of camera for it that they use.
Right. It's like that 35 millimeter analog camera.
Yeah.
It's really, really retro. If you have Amazon Prime, please check this film out.
This is a good one.
It is deliciously odd and off. And that's what, and I mean deliciously so. Do you know Luke Jarvis? Do you know him?
No.
I wish you did. Because I would just be like, bro, were you in sales and you just played out your feelings?
He had to be. Yeah. He had to be.
I mean, all of us indies, man, we're salespeople. So
he obviously hangs out with Orlando, and they probably had a sales job together. Because Orlando wrote part of this movie too.
Yeah.